Hello girls and boys, how's it going? What if I told you that without the army or the defense forces, you wouldn't be watching this video right now? You heard that right. Without the defense forces, there would be no HTTP, there would be no internet, there would be no cat videos, there would be no memes. In fact, everything that we know today about software pipelines, about security, about cloud, about DevOps has its roots in defense programs. And today we're going to cover the untold story of how defense forces have shaped DevSecOps and why the defense forces probably are one of the best DevOps shops in the world. In this video, we dig deeper and start with what is ARPANET. We talk about DevSecOps and its correlation with the army. We talk about defense unicorns. There's a lot of fantastic content in this video, and I promise you, if you stay till the end, you will never ever look at DevSecOps the same way again. If you're new here, my name is Savinder Puri, and I've been in the build, release, DevOps, software engineering area for over 2 decades. You can head over to my LinkedIn profile to know more about my credentials. Without wasting time, let's get started. So let's talk about the origin story, something called the ARPANET. Now imagine a time in the late 1960s, about 1968-69. Now this is a time well before Wi-Fi, before Google, before the smartphone. And the US Department of Defense started funding a very wild experiment. And the experiment problem statement was, can we create a network that will still work if some parts of the network get destroyed in a war? The answer to that, ARPANET. What does ARPANET stand for? Advanced Research Project Agency Network. So ARPANET's initial focus was on supporting military research and development, but it quickly expanded to include universities and other research facilities as well. And ARPANET was built to be a decentralized, reliable network that could withstand possibly even a nuclear attack, while stimulately providing a robust communication and infrastructure network. That is where it all started from. And in fact, several of the common applications that we use on the internet today, things like remote login, telnet, FTP, email, all of these have origins in the original ARPANET research. They defined all of these protocols and technologies. And ARPANET's significance lies in its role as a pioneering network that laid the groundwork for the internet as we know it today, because these were not fundamentally even possible at that time. That is the brilliance of ARPANET. I'll give you a fun fact. Do you know what is the first message that was sent over the ARPANET? They tried to send the word login over a network. What happened? The system failed after LO. That's probably the first documented system failure in internet history. Maybe classic DevOps problems, right? So right from the start, the military wasn't just about using weapons. They were about building resilient, decentralized systems. Sounds familiar? Yes, that's DevOps Principle 101. Resilience, redundancy. So from the early origins of the internet to DevSecOps, how did the defense forces go about that? Why did that transition happen? Let me explain. Let's think about the early 2000s. And that's when the army is realizing that wars are no longer fought in planes as in tanks. It is fought in the cyberspace. And the military realize that hey, we already have software which is running on planes, which is running on ships, which is running on submarines, drones, satellite, but the software development life cycle, the SDLC, the release cycle, is still taking weeks and months, and we cannot have that in a defense situation. We need to be able to release better, faster, more resilient. What does that tell you? DevOps principles. In fact, the US Department of Defense formalized all of this in their publicly available document, which is DoD Enterprise DevSecOps Fundamentals. I will link that in the comment. It is a beautiful document which outlines why DevSecOps principles are relevant for defense and how all of this originated. This is a publicly available document. I'm showing it here as well. Now, what makes defense DevOps unique is a couple of things that you can probably imagine as well. They have massive compliance requirements because security is a big thing. Super high risk because these are mission critical applications. You're practically going to war with these applications, and hence the need for safety and speed. Now let's talk a little bit about something called the defense unicorns. You've probably never even heard about them. Now this is a very unique organization, and Defense Unicorn is a company that literally exists to bring modern DevSecOps practices into defense projects. Their mission? Ship secure software faster, but for the military. It may sound simple, but imagine deploying a Kubernetes cluster to fighter jets, to submarine, to classified networks, and things like that. And suddenly, the complexity goes up several notches. Now imagine their projects focus on things like automating secure pipeline for classified apps, building reusable DevOps templates for the armed forces, open sourcing tools so that the entire defense community can collaborate, and these standards which are pioneering can be used by the broader industry at large as well. Their tagline, I've read this somewhere, software has become the battlefield. And honestly, they are not wrong. In today's world, winning isn't about firing drones or missiles. It's about software supply chains, it's about zero-day exploits, it's about cyber resilience. And Defense Unicorn is showing us that DevOps is not just for the Amazons and for the Netflixes of the world. It is critical for national security as well. You can check out the details at defenseunicorns.com. As you log in into the Defense Unicorn website, the hero text will get your heart racing. It says get software to war fighters when and where they need it. Check out this website. It's a brilliant one. So this is all about how it all started, what the US Department of Defense is doing, which is all great. What the heck is happening in India? Let's talk a little bit that about as well. Now, under the Make in India and the Atma Defense program, there's a lot of opportunities and work happening in the defense sector, and we have our own DevOps revolution going on right here in India as well. Examples: DRDO, Bharat Electronics Limited, even private players like Tata Advanced Systems are developing indigenous defense software. Everything from secure communications to AI-powered surveillance. The Indian Army, in fact, has regularly hosted hackathons, cyber challenges, AI competitions, inviting developers to co-create tools for real-world military needs. And while in India we don't majorly call it DevSecOps, but we are building secure pipelines and mission-critical softwares under different names. Think about it. Embedded system for fighter jets, secure command control apps, battlefield data processing. It's a different level of challenge. And as India's defense and tech ecosystem grows, we are going to see even more demand for DevOps engineers who understand security pipelines at military scale. So this is a whole new dimension to DevSecOps that you probably didn't even know about. So what does all of this mean for us? Why I'm telling you all of this? Because whether you are in the US, India, or anywhere in the world, the most advanced DevSecOps systems and practices aren't just coming up from Silicon Valley or the startups of the world. They are probably coming from defense. And you didn't even know about it. Infrastructure as code, defense. Immutable deployments, defense. Secure SDLC, defense. Cloud, defense. Secure protocols, defense. Heck, even the internet, defense. And defense projects have been quietly solving the most complex DevSecOps problem, not just today, but for decades. And the best part, a lot of the work done in these organizations, which moves beyond the sensitive part, they start open sourcing it so that the larger community can start absorbing it and can start building on top of that. So finally, what can you learn from this and what can you do about this? Here's my recommendation for you. Go on the DoD DevSecOps Fundamental paper, go and read about it. It's a beautiful paper. Also check out defenseunicorns.com. They have a complete library, they have a huge set of materials out there, and some of this fundamental research which will totally change your understanding of DevSecOps. Also read about what is happening in DevSecOps in India. If you are involved in some kind of programs for the Indian Army, for the military, which is out there in the public domain, share that in the comments. Let people benefit from there as well. Finally, towards the end, all I want to say is this is my little tribute for defense, for the army, for the wonderful work that they do for us as a nation, and how that trickles down to what we do in our daily jobs in DevOps as well. I am the son of an army officer and I have utmost respect for our defense forces. This is my 2 cents to the defense forces. Thank you. See you in the next one.